I'm orisaey, and this is Mario Kart World.
No! Shit! Surly! What the fuck? Nasty gal! I fucking did it!
The first new Mario Kart in a decade, where classic series staples, like a banger soundtrack of 200 plus songs we've been listening to for years, 30 tracks from both the series' endless retro catalogue and fresh ideas bank, and familiar characters from across the Mario universe we all know and love. Meet insane Mario Kart formula shakeups like wall and rail grinding, rewind yoink from Forza, a day, night and weather cycle, a new Grand Prix structure where you drive between tracks and do one lap, a Battle Royale knockout tour mode where you can feel what it's like to drive F1, a fully realized interconnected world filled with 200 missions, several costumes per character you collect by appropriating culture at an Olympic level, and welcome additions of playable enemies you can find across the entire map. A new direction for Mario Kart that builds on the structure of its predecessors with course transitions, an open world, and battle royale gameplay filled to the brim with more life than even the game knows what to do with. Only 12 characters a page when there's 50 characters and 102 costumes, all of which are randomly mixed in or just meant to awkwardly jut into each other, and it only gets worse in couch co-op, which is half the fun with that price tag, shit. Either way, all of this evolution and de-evolution is bursting at the seams with inspiration straight out of the Epic Games handbook. Specifically that of its capitalist, money-printing, corporate love child, Fortnite. Just look at their maps and tell me I'm wrong. What the fuck is this, man? Which, despite all of its negative connotations, is a change I'm more than fine accepting. Like, honestly, what took you guys so long to innovate like this? Haven't you been making this game since 2017? Oh wait, I forgot. That's why you left us with a PS3 game for 10 years. It actually makes sense now. Since getting my hands on the game after picking up my Switch 2 day one, I have done nothing but develop the love-hate relationship every Mario Kart player knows all too well. Because although I love almost every part of this MKW, damn the gripes to be gripping hard. Anyways, as a Nintendo fan, this is well worth the wait and negative bank statements. But if you aren't the reason Nintendo just made billions, I have so much kart racing lore to dump that's ready to show you how the first Mario Kart in 10 years is the Fortnite of racing games. Or at least change your mind when the price drops in the form of Mario Kart World's Fortnite Factor. Micro, the characters, costumes, and carts that represent Fortnite's item shop. Macro, modes, maps, and mechanics that represent Fortnite's core gameplay loop with shells instead of guns. And Maxing, the open world, collectibles, and online multiplayer, representing everything left over. The Mario Kart design-based love triangle that makes the endless cycle of booting up the game and realizing at 4 AM you've been playing for 14 hours just so easy. It's not like I'm speaking from experience or anything, so let's boot up the game on a fresh save file. Okay, let's see here. Shit, this is the macro stuff. Fuck. Okay, we'll get to all of this later, but let's jump into a random Grand Prix and get to both this game's first micro element, and what most people are gassing this game up over. We might not have Spider-Man One Piece or even microtransactions, but Mario Kart World's 50 base game classics, newcomers, unlockables, and singular terrors still allow players to express themselves and shitpost in the best ways possible. After launching the game for the first time, we have access to the Mario Brothers, Peach, Pauline, Yoshi, Koopa Troopa, Shy Guy, Bowser, the Waz, the Toads, and the Babies. With notable enemy inclusions of a plant, Goomba, actively dying Cheep Cheep, Drybones, Nabbit, Wiggler, Crab, Parabitty Bud, Penguin, Snowman, and a fucking cow. Wait, a fucking cow? And after completing each Grand Prix, you also unlock the main rivals of each one, being Donkey Kong, Daisy, Rosalina, Lakitu, Birdo, King Boo, and Bowser Jr. respectively. But that isn't all, because if someone in your race rolls the low odds of pulling Kamek, and you end up in its radius, you will randomly transform into and unlock one of the game's hazards depending on where you are. Leading me to my next point, the Mario Kart equivalent of Fortnite skins that, although not as insane as Hatsune Miku or Minecraft Steve in a racing game, still manage to go insanely hard. But there are some weird choices in here, so instead of going over 100 plus outfits, let's go through my top 10 best and why though costumes in Mario Kart World. B-Wario, the Vampire, Pro Racer Toad, Aurora Rosalina, Explorer Jr., Skylanders Bowser, Aristocrat King Boo, Paul Moody Betraydes, Duke of Arrakis, Biker Yoshi, and Touring Baby Rosalina. All of which are my go-tos that aren't even half bad. But why end this segment on a good note when we can scrape the bottom of the barrel with Oasis Luigi, Biker Wario, Vacation Birdo, Pro Racer Birdo, Aero Pauline, Explorer Toad, Swimwear Baby Mario, Biker BJ, every single Yoshi since you can't change colors dependent on your costume, and the real travesty, why is there only one DK costume? I seriously don't get it. He's even got a new design for fuck's sake and you couldn't make two? Wait, his ass is always out, never mind. 40 to be exact, split across 23 carts, 11 bikes, and 6 ATVs. You may only start with 11 vehicles total, but every 100 coin milestone you reach while playing the game gives you a new one until you reach 3,000 coins and 40 vehicles. Oh, and you can't customize vehicles for the first time since Mario Kart Wii, thanks in part to the old broken meta. Instead, you can customize your vehicles with one of 1056 stickers, whose unlock methods we'll get to later. Either way, here are my favourite vehicles in no particular order. The Rivet Revster, the Bloons reference Blasternaut Mark III, the Toon Thumper, the Fin Twin, they turned Rob into a bike, funniest shit I've ever seen, the Funky Dory, Overwatch reference the Junkyard Hog, Ocean reference the Lobster Roll, and my personal favourite, the Lil Dumpy. Rounding out the micro third of Mario Kart World's Fortnite Factor patent pending, that represents the skins, outfits, and cosmetics of the Fortnite item shop. Finally allowing us to jump back to the main menu for the macro parts of this game we skipped over earlier, that represent the fan-made creative game modes and studio-built specialty game modes inside of Epic Games Juicer. The classic Mario Kart experience of driving 3 to 8 laps of 4 tracks against 23 other players with the aim of coming out on top, whether it be single player, multiplayer, local, or online. But rather than just driving every track normally, here you drive the first track several times, drive to the next one, do a lap of said next one, and repeat this process twice over. Changes I adore until the Mario Kart effect takes hold, replacing your first place finish for 24th and making you borderline genocidal. The game's 30 tracks are split between the game's 8 cups, being the Mushroom Cup, Flower Cup, Star Cup, Shell Cup, Banana Cup, Tanuki Cup, and Lightning Cup. And after completing each cup once over, you then unlock the Special Cup, containing the series staple, Rainbow Road. This stained glass rendition of the road boasts a 4-segment core structure and 4-minute runtime that combines both every prior rendition of the track and World's new mechanics into one of the series' best tracks, let alone Rainbow Roads. Oh, and they got rid of 200cc, but you can still unlock Mirror Mode by beating every cup in 150cc and running back the Special Cup a second time. And that's the Grand Prix. Mario Kart at its purest form with a bit of additional world flavour thrown in there thanks to the Switch 2's additional power. This power also gives us our next game mode, Knockout Tour. This game's Battle Royale mode that has 24 players compete against each other to survive 6 checkpoints that take you across the map, and slowly dwindle numbers until there's only 1 player left. Instead of cups, Knockout Tour has rallies, specifically being the Golden, Ice, Moon, Spiny, Cherry, Acorn, Cloud, and Heart rallies, each with their own lineups that start with you on one side of the map and end up with you on another. Despite all of this, to avoid cups and rallies just being boring straight lines, World follows the franchise trend of having offensive, defensive, comeback, and coin items that introduce some skill expression and make our lives actual hell. Offensive and defensive items include green shells, red shells, fire flowers, ice flowers, bananas, feathers, boomerangs, bloopers, bomb-ombs, horns, and hammers that function as shields, projectiles, and sometimes both. Comeback items span the series' most popular items, with the standard mushroom, gold mushroom, star, bullet bill, boo, and blue shell making up the list. And it wouldn't be Mario Kart without useless coin items thrown in there too, this time consisting of a coin, coin box, and semi-offensive coin shell. All of which can be seen at peak brainrot levels in Versus mode, where teams of 24, 12, 8, and 6 across all CCs can fight to the death with normal and frantic items in their own 3 to 32 track Grand Prix. Which means, yes, you can route your own Grand Prix across the entire map with tracks of your choosing. But if you want to go straight to item box hell, why not try battle mode? Chaos Incarnate spread across Balloon Battle, Coin Runners, and 8 maps recycled from Free Roam. The aim of each is to either pop as many balloons or collect as many coins as you can within 3 minutes, all without managing to have your balloons popped or come dead last. But if being tortured isn't your vibe, why not try Time Trials, where you can compete against yourself, Staff Ghosts, or the entire leaderboard on every track with triple mushrooms, no lengthy in-betweens, and no interference. And the obligatory Bowser Real Racer and Toadette Baby Blooper references go here, enough said. And those are the game modes that make up the macro of Mario Kart World's Fortnite factor. So it's time to delve into the most polarizing part of this game, the maxing elements. The very parts of Mario Kart World that define its endless replayability if you have 100 hours spare to waste. Which is where the map comparison really comes in, because if you rotate the Chapter 3 Fortnite map, they both have a desert in the bottom left, snow on the top right, islands at the bottom, a peninsula on the right, and a forest at the top. Which isn't really a good comparison because there are only so many things you can do with the map. But this map also differs in several ways, with a volcano in the top left, a Sahara in the bottom right, and a trifecta of pine, maple, and ginkgo forests in the middle. And a plains, but that's not anything, necessarily new. On this island in particular, you can drive around in free roam, allowing you to drive tracks in different orientations, follow main roads, or go off-road into the wilderness. All three of which give way to the game's magic collectibles, specifically the 150 question mark panels hidden across every track, the 394 P-switches that contain bespoke missions, and the 200 Peach medallions scattered everywhere. All three of which unlock one of 1,056 unique stickers that you can decorate your vehicles with one of. Which, despite ranging from street signs and fake branding to straight up clan tags, are glorified Koroks in the middest way possible. At least there's stuff there, but 100 hours of gameplay for the sake of it is kind of ass. But what about the other aspect of its replayability? Spanning 4 online modes, being Race, Knockout Tour, Battle and Friends, online is both good, chaotic and flawed, with that last one coming earlier than expected. For Race, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, track selection. Because despite the fun of connected tracks, you are forced to play them. Within the first version of the game, you were given 3 tracks to drive to based on where you are, with an additional random choice that picked from the 3-lap versions only. A choice understandably disliked by fans. But instead of changing this system to solve this problem, the next patch doubled down, with the random choice preferring random connected tracks instead of the 3-lap alternative. Online might give you a 3-track option once in a blue moon, but it's not frequent enough to be any better. But hopefully World will get a DLC, major update, or some effort on Nintendo's end to walk back these changes. On the chaotic side is Knockout Tour, where a random tour is picked from the available options and CCs, and you just race whatever is picked in its most hell-like rendition. To me it's a fantastic experience, and although it might make people rage just because it's Mario Kart, people screaming and blaming the fall of Japan is just downright funny. Online battle mode is just as chaotic as it ever was as well, with the impulse control of Nintendo fans leading to some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in battle mode today. And honestly, you just have to see it to believe it on Twitch, YouTube, literally any clip hosting site, or the first-hand experience of anyone you know. Leaving us with the last section of maxing, Friends, where you and up to 23 friends can join your own private rooms and customize just about every part of your play sessions, allowing you to change rule sets, item settings, game modes, course selection, intermission length, routing freedom, access battle history, and set up teams. Shit, now that's freedom. Rounding out the final part of Mario Kart World's Fortnite factor. Oh, and game chat. And that has been my TED Talk on how the Fortnite factor of Mario Kart World makes the first Mario Kart in 10 years the Fortnite of racing games. And I hope the micro, macro, and maxing I've shown you so far kind of explains why this game, in conjunction with this month's monkey, gives the game and the console its price point both now and when the latter inevitably goes down. And this took way too long as usual, so just subscribe, do it.